Hello everyone, this is Joanna. Thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, thank you so much. I hope what you find what you like here. And let me just start off by saying these are late, so thank you for waiting. I don't know about you, but this whole freaking retrograde has played a number on me in a way that just the whole month of March was like blah. That's why these are late. Energetically, I didn't feel it. Some of it I had to start all over again. So if you have been feeling things coming from the past, and if you have been feeling kind of pulled all over the place, I have been feeling it too. And if you guys want to comment on what that might be, as far as energetically speaking, by all means, please do that, because I will be interested to know. But what I will say, the month of April, I feels very fresh to me. For many of you, it's about bursting out of your bubbles. And I've said this several times to several signs. So month of March has been, month of April seems much more complete. Now, it doesn't mean that every one of you will feel that, but the energy certainly makes me feel that we are all moving to brighter and better beginnings, is what I want to say. So that's what I want to say about the energies. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. For those of you who have sessions with me, thank you so much. And for those of you who want a session with me, that information is down below. Listen to your other signs, your moon sign and your sun sign and your rising sign, because they will offer more information often, and some of them may be even more accurate for you than your sun sign. And I think that's all I have. I don't like long intros. Oh yes, one more thing, sorry. I have a new deck of cards, Spirit Animal. Kelly Jean, I think, uses them. I love her. And I just wanted to order these. I weathered them for quite some time, so I use them in most of the readings here. See if you like them. And I got them on Amazon. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Thank you so much, and let's get started. Hello, beautiful Libra. This is going to be a reading for the month of April 2018. Thank you for waiting. Yeah, let's get started. It's been an interesting several weeks, to say the least, and I'm sure you guys have been experiencing this too. So, all right, let's start with you. When I connected to your energy, I right away heard the word ground, and I also saw an anchor. To me, anchor signifies many things. In this instance, it tells me that many of you in the month of April will feel much more stable and secure than you have felt over the last few months. For some of you, it's few years, but for most of you, it's going to be few months or few weeks. I feel some of you will, or just about have, landed a new groundness. Now, whether it is because you are solidifying a brand new position, a brand new financial situation, a brand new career, a brand new way of being, stability in your relationship, stability within you, there's a sense of stability and grounding. For some of you, it is extremely important to ground in the month of April. And I'm asking the question why, and I see the swing going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So for some of you, emotionally speaking, you have been all over the place for quite some time. This could be, insecurities coming up. I mean, all of us are undergoing tremendous shift, and there's almost nobody I talk to that doesn't say there's stuff going on all over the place, and it's just like, so too much. So for some of you, it is important to ground anytime, but particularly in the month of April, because you have been going through a lot of turmoil. Your emotional and mental faculty may be all over the place, and you really need to ground in order to face certain things. Now, those things are not bad things, but you do have choices and decisions coming up. And for a lot of you, it's financial choices and decisions about grounding and stability. So that's what I was seeing. And I was actually at ground. So I was like, okay, they have to ground. So please ground. For some of you, it's about holding on to your faith. So I always say that it is in times of challenges when our faith is tested the most, because when things are easy, it doesn't need to be tested, right? So I'm not saying April is going to be a challenging month. I am saying it has been challenging for quite some time. And many of you need to rely on your faith because perhaps you've relied on other things too much. Particularly because I'm going to jump right away to my last card. Milk and honey is coming up in the reverse position, and this is a warning about control, or being out of control. So this is talking about overuse of anything, overindulgence of alcohol, overindulgence of negative thoughts, overindulgence in drugs, overindulgence in working, overindulgence, anything, too much of anything, even a good thing, will create a sense of imbalance. So there's a bit of a warning here not to ground, so you don't reach for other things that will ground you temporarily but end up being not good for you health-wise. It is also asking you to be in the present the best way you can. I believe most people have extreme difficulties living at the moment. I certainly do. I've experienced it very few times in my life, and it is absolutely heaven. I can't stay there for very long. So it is effort and it is diligence that takes you to this point. Why? Because if we're too much in one way in our future, or if we're too much in our past, which is where our fears come from, we A, lose opportunities in front of us, but B, we don't know how to convene with our life because we're not present. We're all over the place, in other words. So this is asking you to pay attention and focus to what is in front of you, not too much in the future and not too much in the past. And you also have the card of happy. So this is about finding ways to be silly, finding ways to have fun, finding ways to unwind, finding ways to ground. Laughter is the best recipe. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard this. So I'm starting this, it's very different than all the other readings, but that's kind of how it went. Now, the energy that is, numbers. You have 3 and 7. So you have expansion, which is probably in all the readings. And 7, again, comes up all the time, a very spiritual in nature. So April is, for a lot of you, this is financially connecting, but there is how do I say this? There's a spiritual connection here happening in the month of April for many of you. I mean, the fact that you're listening to this signifies that you have some concept of what spirituality means to you and you have some connection to it. But it feels like the month of April comes with a lot of surprises and a lot of aha moments, good ones, clarity. Frustration seems to be all of a sudden you're shedding light on a certain frustration, you're seeing it from a different perspective, and you're going, oh my God, I didn't see it that way. So there's a lot of spiritual component to it. Now, the energy that is, so that comes to the number 10. 3 and 7 comes to the number 10, which is all about completions. Fantastic. You are, in essence, completing something and you're moving on to something else. The energy that's surrounding you is the 8 of Wands in reverse. So again, it talks about you not having had a lot of luck, I want to say, but I don't mean like luck because you're unlucky. Again, stagnant energy. So for some of you, things have not been moving as fast as you would like. Things have not been transpiring the way you would have liked. Things just felt very stagnant. So it's not that this is what you're working towards. It's the energies that you are working with in April is supporting you so that this lack of movement can turn into this. And in fact, it does, because you have the Magician. So what are you leaving behind? You have 10 of Cups in reverse and you have 8 of Cups. Clearly, many of you are leaving a situation behind. Some of you have divorced, or you are moving through a divorce. Some of you are leaving an unhealthy situation in your home. Some of you are leaving an unhealthy situation, an unhealthy way of, no, I'm going to say different. Some of you are choosing to let go of things from your past, any sort of insecurities, inadequacies, lack, emotional, mental, whatever it is. Many of you are leaving that behind. The Eight of Cups is saying you are emotionally you are emotionally detaching yourself from something. So you can live with somebody, for example, a spouse, but emotionally detach yourself from certain triggers. Or you can emotionally detach yourself from the work that you don't like anymore and move on to something else. Point is, many of you are leaving something behind. Okay, so this is how it was shown to me. For some of you, it's a home, unhappy home. For some of you, it's unhappy work situation. For some of you, you're emotionally detaching yourself from what you thought were burdens inside of you, or lack or insecurities. You're moving on. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but that's a good thing. Now, what's in April? Yes, you have the Magician. So this is about manifestation. April is very much energetically inclined towards you manifesting your goals. You also have the Eight of Swords, which is a change of perspective, change of the way you look at things, open to different ideas. So it's almost like I want to say many of you are feeling reborn or are being reformatted. You're going through a shift of perspective, a change of heart, change of the way you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, and there's a brand new beginning. So manifestation is huge in the month of April and some of May for some of you. Financially speaking, because I'm seeing certain symbols that signify to me, it's about abundance, it's about creativity as well. Obviously, magicians are, they're illusionists. Is that how I say it? They create magic. It is also about you recognizing certain tools and certain gifts or certain skills that you may not have been aware of. This is also about some of you acquiring different skills, acquiring different ways of looking at things, changing the way you have thought of things before, and you're moving on now in a different way. And I know it's a big concept message, but this will apply to all of you in various different ways. Now, what are you to be aware of? You have choices and decisions to make. So definitely beginnings, definitely new opportunities, you wanting to decide, perhaps not knowing what to decide. The card of Tree of Life came up. I've seen this card in April readings more than any other month in the last 2 years. This is telling me that many of us are ending and starting brand new karmic cycles. So for many of you, whatever decisions you will be making or whatever choices you are looking at, it has a very karmic component to it. What do I mean by that? Number one, it's whatever you start to create from this point going forward has a karmic component, and in a way, let me just see if I can explain this differently, because I'm not getting the words. Please show me. Okay, it's almost like whatever you have done up until this point in your life with regards to relationships, money, stability, how you attract abundance, how you are expressing yourself, whatever you have been up until this point, you have recently closed that door, and you are in the month of April going forward starting a brand new chapter that is almost like a gift from the universe for the work you have done up until this point. For many of you, this is going to be surrounding around certain lessons you have learned or gained over the last little while. Things you have recognized about yourself that made you go, oh my God, I didn't realize this. I'll never do that again. So it is not only a very fruitful time, it is a time where many opportunities can be grounded and solidified and give you long-term prosperity, whether in a relationship, in your own being, in the life outside of you, how much money you bring, how you look at the world. Huge. I can't stress this enough. It is also a time where opportunities may arise seemingly out of nowhere and may leave you slightly confused. Now, I pulled the animal card and it's a crow. I didn't read it. I'm not very familiar with these cards yet, so I'm going to go purely with my intuition. So to me, crow is a very shamanic symbol, and right away I hear the word a healer. So for many, and I just got chills, for many of you, you have an energy of a healer. I got chills all over me. Crows, I've observed crows in documentaries, and they're extremely, extremely intelligent animals, birds. They are scavengers, which means they're survivors. You see this crow sitting at the top of the world as if that is its domain. What I want to say here, and I want to say the word take flight. So for many of you, pure message this so pure intuition for this card. Many of you are healers and may not know it. Many of you are healers and don't know what to do about it. Perhaps that's the decision and choice you have to make. Many of you are realizing you are healers, and this is the gift of the universe saying, yes, you're starting brand new karmic cycle. This is meant to be. This is fate. That's another way of saying karmic to me. This is fate. This is meant to be. I want to say here, embrace your gifts, embrace your individuality. They're saying to me that crows are very family oriented. For many of you, you might be the healer in the family. You might be the one that keeps everything and everyone together. You may be the one that sees from a higher perspective. A crow sits at the, on the top of the tree and looks down to see what it can land on and eat. So it's about resourcefulness. This is a message for you of recognizing your own gifts and using those gifts as your resources in order to gaining or claiming that which you wish. Interesting message. I'm not connecting it to anything in particular. For many of you, this is about a life path. And well, you have the Magician. So I hope this makes sense. Thank you so much for waiting. Like I said before, if you've been going through some stuff, I hear you loud and clear. Please comment how this makes sense to you, if it does, in fact, because it makes no sense to me. Always listen to these at the end of the month because they almost always make sense. I was actually listening to my sign for the 2018 predictions, and I'm listening to it now and I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe this actually came out of my mouth, because every single thing is happening. And when I do them, even when they're from me, I don't know, right? So anyway, thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful month of April. Take care of yourself. Take care of your own individual needs. And I wish you best of luck for private sessions. That information is down below. Thank you again, and I will see you soon.